So you'll hear from the Navy, you'll hear from the Marine Corps, you'll hear from the Air Force, and now you have us. One of the biggest differences between us and the other branches of service is you'll know where you're going to go to training, when you're going to go to training, and what your job's going to be before you even sign your contract. Some of the other branches, they get you committed to the program, and then you figure out your job and some of the particulars later on. All that happens after you take the Asvab. The Asvab is the test that every branch of service uses. Sometimes it's used to find out what kind of career opportunities are offered to you in civilian worlds, because you may want to be a doctor, but maybe you're more mechanically inclined and you just don't know it. So that's what we use the test for, same as everybody else. But like I said, we let you pick your job. If you score high enough, you could qualify for a cash bonus. Right now, the cash bonuses are upwards to $40,000. You'll get that over the period of your contract. Myself, I deal with Army Reserve, which is 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out of the year. You go away to training for basic, which is 10 weeks where you learn how to be a soldier. And then it could be anywhere from 10 weeks to 52 weeks, depending on how technical your job is. And that's AIT. AIT is where you learn how to do that job. You get certified back here to the Bay and either live at home or go to a dorm if you're going to go to college full time. And then the Army helps pay for college on top of whatever bonuses that you have. The Reserve has a student loan repayment program. Before you have to test pretty high though. There's all sorts of programs, the GI Bill, post 9/11 GI Bill, and some of these programs you can even later on in life, not that you're thinking about it now, but you can give to your spouse or your children later on. The difference between active duty and reserve is just support. We don't have any combat arms. We have mechanical technicians, we have medical technicians, we have admin support, we have Army band, we do arts and media, engineering and construction, military intelligence.
We have the same jobs in the same fields. We go to the same training, but the difference is when you come back to the Bay Area, you will go to a base outside of the Bay Area, which will either be we have bases in California, we have bases in Texas, Washington, Germany, Korea, Japan. We have them all over the world. So you'll go there and you'll work like a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday. And then you'll get the weekends off, and you do that for between 3 to 5 years. And you continue on. Like I've done 10 years of active duty, and I really enjoy it. And the biggest thing about the active duty side is that you can get a pension after those 20 years, like immediately you retire from the future.
That's one of the big differences with the reserve. You have to wait until you're of retirement age, which is anywhere from 60 to 65 in order to use that pension, because it's a part-time basis. So some of the later on down the road things are a little different. We're also all over the world with the reserve, just not in as many places. We're very similar to the National Guard, where it's 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of the year, but we're not just California. If you're in the National Guard, you're located just in California. If you get into a career and that career moves you to New York or Florida or Maine or Alaska, you can move there with your military career as well and do your civilian job. Whereas with the you're kind of as side of it. And what else do we have? Some of the success stories that I can tell you about from the reserve is there are people that have graduated from high school, joined the Army Reserve, tested very high, picked a very technical job, because not only are we recruiters, but we're like career counselors, much like the counselors you're sitting in the room with, where we sit down and talk to you about what these jobs you would do for the military could do for you on the civilian side. As a reservist, you come off of active duty, which gives you a DD 214, which makes you a veteran of the United States because you've done active duty service. You can use that status to help test and get extra points with a federal position, like with the IRS or government. One, she had college paid for, but she wanted some excitement. So she took the test. She became a lab technician. She now works in a animal hospital over in San Francisco. She used that trust fund money to buy herself a house rather than go to an education that her parents were going to pay for. And she's using the military to pay for her extra education. And she's using her skills that she learned as a lab tech in the Army Reserve for her civilian job. So that's just some of the things that she's done.
Yeah, I have a future soldier that I'm working with right now. He just became an operating room technician. So he's going to become a doctor eventually. He's already a traveling nurse. So once he comes back to the Bay Area, he's going to work at the hospital in the operating room. That's another success story that's going to be happening down the road. He's a very motivated guy.
The cool thing about active duty is everybody looks at it as, oh, I don't make that much money. But here's the difference. With active duty, you're not paying your rent, you're not paying for your food, you're not paying your electric, you're not paying your water. The Army handles all that on active duty. You don't have to pay co-pays if you have to go to the doctor. The Army handles that. With the Reserve, you have similar benefits. You pay into the program, which is a little different than the active duty side. You pay into the program, but you get similar benefits. So it can be a lot cheaper than sometimes your civilian employer or whatever the state or your parents have. It's kind of cool. GI Bill program. I wanted to join the service, learn a skill, and I had a child when I was young. So what I wound up doing is I gave my daughter my education benefits, and she's now getting paid to go to college as a art major. She's trying to become a teacher. And then what I did is I went and used tuition assistance, which is the $4,000 a year that every soldier gets, whether they're active or reserve. And I took a couple of classes part-time so I could focus on my military career and my civilian career. And over a year, because of all the training I got from the Army, I only had to take 6 classes, and I got a degree in business because they accredited all of my training that I'd taken over 18 years and said, yeah, you only need like English and a math class. It's kind of nice. Any questions? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Hold up, they got cut off a little bit.
Does the military allow people with like high functioning to very high functioning, people with a very high functioning or just high functioning officer to join the military?
I could hardly understand what was being asked. I heard, does the military, and then
You can move a little bit closer.
Sorry.
Does the military allow people with like very high functioning or high functioning autism to join the military? Because I'm like the very or just high functioning, very high functioning spectrum.
Okay. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, that is a disqualifying factor. We've tried to send folks that are in your position down, and right now they're not currently accepting anyone in that position.
I did actually heard that there were like medical waivers. I checked up online about this. I just came here just to confirm.
Right. So there have been in the past, and currently it's just like with transgender and all sorts of other things, it's constantly changing. So as of this moment in time, it's not currently being wavered, but it has been in the past. in the future, but unfortunately, right now, I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot with that.
Right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Feel free to ask any questions about no? Hey. Anybody? Have any questions? Buddy? Be afraid. Feel free to ask. This is the perfect time to ask. Right. Buddy? Right. Well, I think I don't know if we have any questions. We do have we'll get your contact information and we can send out the students if they're interested. I want to thank you guys for coming today. Do you have anything else to add before you head out?
So,
You have a question?
Oh,
off-
oh wait, we do have one more question. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Here, come on up here. Your connection is a little bit unstable, so it's kind of like dropping in and out.
So like, I just had a question, like, what's the like highest salary that someone in the Army Reserve can make?
So for how the pay works is you're going to get paid part-time, right? So the longer you're in, the more rank you're going to have, which means the more money you're going to get. So to start off in the Army Reserve, after you complete your training and get back to your unit and do your 1 week in a month and your couple weeks a year, it's only a few $1,000s a year, but it's legit just 1 weekend a month. So the rest of the time you can does that help or did I break up again?
Can you repeat that last
Yeah.
section? Yeah.
So you're only going to make a few $1,000s a year
Okay.
because of the short amount of time that you're actually obligated to work.
Okay.
The rest of the time is going to be utilized for your career that we help you get into, or the college that you're going to, which the Army has other funds that they use. But as far as the money that you're going to make, it's only a few $1,000s a year because it's a part-time job.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Morgan, here, come on up.
Now's the time. So I heard a little bit about what you have to go through before you join the military, like the basic camps. Could you go into more depth about what actually happens at a basic camp?
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time as a drill sergeant in the Army Reserve, about 10 years before I came into recruiting. So in basic training, you come in and you learn everything from customs and courtesies, how to interact with different rank structures, because there's right ways and wrong ways to do that, kind of like with your teachers and your parents. You learn how to wear the uniform, you learn how to wear your hair, you learn, I mean, we have details on how many earrings can and can't be worn, fingernail lengths and such, colors of nail polish, right? That's going to be in any branch. Then you're going to go into learning how to be a soldier, because that's what it's based around. So you do obstacle courses, you take physical fitness training, you take physical fitness assessments. You learn the basic training. That's why it's basic combat training, right?
Can you
After
go back-
that, you go into your technical.
I'm sorry, can you go back again?
Go ahead.
Before you said physical training, it cut out again. Just
Okay, so you have physical fitness training, and then you get into how to be a soldier, how to do hand-to-hand combat, shoot different weapon systems, how to eat MREs, do first aid, communication skills, like with the different communication systems we have, it's a variety of things that every soldier needs to know.
All right, I got it. Thank you.
thank you.
After that, go to learn. I apologize for the quality. We had to kind of jump onto a cell phone and we're stuck in the office, so we don't get a bunch of background noise.
Oh, that's good. We got some good questions, more than we usually get, actually.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Do you guys have any, does anybody have any more questions before I know you guys' lunch is on these two, so. We head out. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add before you leave us today?
Yeah, so we're located on Hesperian Boulevard, right across from Chabot College. And next to Southland Mall. Every Wednesday, we get together here at our station and we teach people some of the things that they'll need to know as far as we answer different expertises and different experiences within the Army. So we have the kids or adults that are interested in joining. They come down every Wednesday around 4 o'clock. And it's about an hour, hour and a half. And we go all over just running, doing PT, how to have a healthy diet. We go, if you have questions about how to balance a checkbook or go to a job interview or whatever it may be, that's what we do, right? So if you ever have any more questions at all, by all means, it's 24780 Hesperian Boulevard.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. Oops, there's a frozen. I'll come back in like a second. There you go. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
So much.
All right.
Bye.